Hello, this is the trade site Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, October 4th, 2015, ending Friday the 9th. We are in the fourth quarter of the year. Congratulations. Where did the year go? Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. Running into a wall all week. It was actually a very narrow week. We went back to full size and it really wasn't worth it yet, but we'll stick with it for now because it should be a good time of year. You can see the green static trend line has been the wall there on the dollar index. Here's the euro dollar, very flat for the last 7 or 8 days. So it wasn't a very exciting week there. Pound dollar, really not much better. Now going to be, at this point, we recycled. So there's no 9-bar new startup phase. Aussie dollar also flat for the week. You can see the 13 buy signal that's been created, the risk line that's been the low so far. Pound yen, not much there either. Euro yen. Frankly, it was just a very light week. There's not much to discuss from that perspective. Here's a look at the 30-minute candles on the euro dollar so you can see the whole week. And the range from high to low for the whole week is less than 200 pips. It's the first time in a while we've seen that. Obviously not very good. Sunday opened flat. A little bounce on Monday. Tuesday wasn't very interesting. Wednesday we did get a move leading into Thursday. Thursday wasn't very interesting. And then Friday we were drifting lower until the non-farm payroll number came out, and then the market spiked up, gapped a bit from the news, the disappointing numbers. Here's a look at the pound dollar. Even worse, 130 pips of range for the whole week on the pound. What a week to go back to full size. We had one session this week where I didn't even make trade calls because the ranges were so narrow and the levels were bunched together, and that ended up being the right thing. So that saved us some hassle there. We did have a couple winners on Friday, but overall it's been a pretty narrow week. Here's a look at the economic data that's coming out this next week. So we start with Australia on bank holiday and China on bank holiday. Japan's average cash earnings comes out, and then going into Monday, Spanish services PMI, Europe, Italian services PMI, French services PMI, German services PMI, and the same for the broad European sector. Centex investor confidence out of Europe. The UK has got their services PMI data. Retail sales out of Europe, Eurogroup meetings out of Europe. Then US final services PMI, non-manufacturing PMI, labor market conditions index all on Monday. China stays on a bank holiday going into Tuesday. Australia comes back to work. Trade balance comes out, their rate announcement from the Bank of Australia. And then going into Tuesday here in the U.S., German factory orders, Halifax HPI, Switzerland's CPI, Europe's retail PMI data, housing equity withdrawals out of the UK. The ECOFIN meetings continue along with the Eurogroup meetings. Trade balance out of Canada and the U.S. at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. That is one of our big three numbers each month, so we're going to be half size ahead of that, if nothing else. Then we've got GDT price index out of New Zealand, Canada's IVPMI. We've got the IBD tip economic optimism number out of the US, and that's the only major data there after the trade balance on Tuesday. Got some Fed members speaking and whatnot. Australia's AIG construction index. Got a bank holiday again on China. They're taking the week off almost. Monetary policy statement from the Bank of Japan. Leading indicators, that's their rate announcement, by the way. Leading indicators out of Japan as well going into Wednesday. German industrial production, the press conference from the Bank of Japan. French trade balance, foreign currency reserves out of Switzerland. Got the manufacturing production and industrial production out of the UK. German 10-year bond auction. Building permits out of Canada. Crude oil inventories, 10-year bond auction, and consumer credit here in the U.S. None of that's major on Wednesday. Japan goes to their core machinery orders, current account, and 30-year bond auction Wednesday night. Going into Thursday, their economy watchers sentiment, and then Switzerland's unemployment rate. Trade balance out of Germany. We've got rate announcements all over the place. We already had Australia, we have Japan, now we've got the Bank of England, and then the ECB, which is the European Bank. So all those are coming out this week. Be aware of that. That can affect the market. Housing starts out of Canada and their NHPI number. The weekly unemployment claims out of the U.S., the weekly natural gas number, 30-year bond auction. We got a Fed member speaking. We've got home loans out of Australia going into Friday, French government budget balance and industrial production Friday, Italian industrial production, trade balance out of the UK in the wee hours of Friday morning here in the US, and their construction output. And then we've got the Canada's unemployment rate, import prices out of the US, Fed member speaking, wholesale inventories at 10 a.m. here in the US. IMF meetings begin Friday and go into Saturday, and that is it. That wraps the week. So the main thing will be the trade balance, and then watch all those rate announcements. Those are key, especially Thursday morning. And other than that, hopefully we have a better trading week in terms of ranges here on the Forex. That's what we need to be successful. But we'll stick to full size. This should typically be a good time of year now. And we were seeing some improvement prior to this last week in terms of the ranges and whatnot. So that's what we want to stick with. Everybody have a great trading week. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal 12. We'll be around to help you make money.